Hey, welcome to the Wisconsin Corn Soy Expo here indoors at the Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells. And given Wisconsin's bitter weather, that's a wonderful thing, and it's drawing a great crowd. The Corn Soy Expo is considered the premier show for our Wisconsin corn and soybean growers, but it draws folks from all across the upper Midwest. Why? Because we've got cutting-edge research in the educational seminars, we've got great keynote speakers, and we've got a fantastic trade show that's full of the latest innovations and technology. Dan Upna can tell you all about that. He represents Pioneer in the trade show area. How many years have you been coming to the show, Dan?
We've been coming as long as it's been around.
Yeah.
Pioneer goes back 92 years in Wisconsin, so certainly a long legacy, and we really enjoy this show. It really brings together some of the best growers around the state, and certainly the rest of our industry, as well as our educational partners, and just a lot of good information here.
You know, you look at the parking lot and it's jam full, and that's not exactly what many folks would expect given our current economic situation. But then again, that's part of the reason why this show is sold out.
Yeah, farmers are the most optimistic people I've ever been around, right? And they understand when times are tough, you got to make the most of what you have. And you know, our focus is on continue to improve production.
Right.
Obviously, we want to market smartly, but sometimes that's a little bit out of our control. So what can we control? We can control what we do. And it's always a learning curve, always striving to get better. And a big part of why people attend this show is just to get some of those insights.
What are you hearing as far as conversation across the kitchen table? I was talking with Dan, given the current economic situation and so much uncertainty on what's going to happen in 2019 with our markets, I wondered if farmers are holding their money or if they're taking advantage of the early discounts and things like that. What are you sensing in those kitchen conversations, Dan?
From a seed perspective, there's a lot of reasons people order early, primarily supply. We've got to ship a lot of seed. We've got to get it to you in the middle of the winter, which can throw some curveballs at times. So the pace within the seed sector is pretty much on pace as usual. We do still have some cropping decisions to be made.
Right.
People with a little uncertainty about what's going to happen with soybean commodity prices and kind of waiting to see if some deals get made there that are going to benefit us in agriculture.
Sure.
So maybe a little more decision on final cropping intentions. But in terms of the pace of purchasing within seed, pretty well established, and we're pretty much on pace with other seasons.
Excellent. One of the other reasons why we're talking with Dan Upna from Pioneer, the trade show partners, is this is such a magnet for producers. I mentioned some of the reasons why. Why do you think, or what are you hearing growers most excited about here at the show? Is it the product? Is it our in-state research? Is it those keynote speakers?
I think it's D, all of the above, option D. But we have very active membership in our state. We've got very active corn and soybean organizations, high percentage of members. So people that are members like to come here because they can benefit from that membership. Another thing they like is virtually every input supplier that they deal with is at this show, right? So it's a very efficient opportunity. If you've got questions, you need to go back and talk with some of the people that you partner with on your farm, odds are you can see them all here in one spot. So it's a very efficient way for them to operate as well.
And let's not look past the camaraderie, that hall networking, the dinner conversations, a couple adult beverages later. There is something very important about that too.
Yeah, we're kind of a small industry in agriculture.
Yeah.
We're pretty tight-knit. And certainly myself being in it for about 25 years, appreciate those relationships, right? Because we deal in an ever-changing environment. We work with weather that's a lot of times out of control. So what I always say is in ag, it's never as good as it seems, and it's never as bad as it seems.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need partners in the foxhole to kind of console us when things are tough. So those relationships mean a lot too.
Absolutely, and they're not forgotten. Believe me, all kinds of networking opportunities in the hallways, at meal functions, and some of the breakout sessions trying to talk about how we deal with these kinds of situations on the farm. It's all here for you. Wisconsin Corn Soy Expo. And remember, it's in partnership with the Wisconsin Soybean Association and our Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board. Your checkoff dollars at work. If you wonder where your checkoff dollars are spent, you need to be here. It's in breakout sessions with Dr. Sean Conley, our University Extension soybean researcher, closing the yield gap in Wisconsin. It's with Dr. Damon Smith, our plant pathologist working on white mold and his always evolving app. And then it's with Dr. Rodrigo Worley, our weed scientist, and all the resistant weeds that our soybean growers are faced with in 2019. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Come and see what we're talking about. cornsoyexpo.org or badgerbean.com, coolbean.info. With Dan Upna at the Wisconsin Corn Soy Expo, I'm Pam Yankee.